the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we have a special guest with us this week. Aurelio is with us, who's going to be showing us a very cool product that's going to be coming out called the RockDreamer. How you doing? Coming from Canada tonight, I believe, right?
Yeah, just outside Toronto. Hey there, Michael.
Glad you could join us, and if you're on video, you can see the gadget in question on his guitar. We're going to have a little bit of a demo of that later in the show. I can't wait. It's a very, very cool thing. We had a little chat about a few weeks ago, and I'm excited to see how that's coming along, how it works, and how maybe I'll finally learn how to play a guitar. Aurelio, we're ready to rock out with you right now.
That's awesome.
What do you have on your guitar there?
I've called this device the RockDreamer GuitarBar. Mm-hmm. It allows you to play the guitar. Now, just a little background. I'm a songwriter and I've been in bands, but I don't play guitar. I'm not a guitarist. I play keyboards and I also play the accordion. Years ago, I was kind of down on my luck, not feeling very good just after a divorce and lost my job. And so I was in this rundown house basically, and I was thinking what wasn't working. I thought, well, maybe I can teach some kids how to do something in music, maybe write some songs or something like that. And I thought, okay, well, what instruments would I take with me when I go and do this? And I saw my keyboard. I thought, yeah, I'd definitely bring that. And I had my accordion. I thought, yeah, I'd bring that. And somebody had left an old guitar in the place. And I looked over, I saw the guitar, and I said, man, I'd love to bring that guitar. It would be really cool, but I don't know how to play the guitar. And then I glanced at my accordion, and on the bass buttons on the accordion, mm-hmm. when you push a bass button on the accordion, it actually plays a chord. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if there was some device that you could use on the guitar where you push a button and it would make a chord on the guitar? And then all you would have to do is strum, and you'd be able to play the guitar. And that was like the light bulb moment, the aha moment. I thought, wow, that would be so cool. Why don't I try to do such a thing? Problem was, I've never developed a product before. I had no clue how to go about it. So I had to just, I started scribbling down ideas of how it would work. And long story short, it went through many different design companies. The first design company spent tens of thousands of dollars and they failed. Second design company, same thing, failed. And I got really discouraged. I thought, okay, this is just not going to happen. But the thing that kept me going was my partner in India. He gave me money to start this venture to go and try to develop this thing when I had no money. And I was willing to lose the money I had invested, but it would break my heart to lose his money mm-hmm. as well. So I said, no, I've got to figure this out. And so I swore that I wouldn't go to another company or product design company unless I first came up with some crude prototype to actually prove, the device and the concept. And so it took me months, and I was working with like popsicle sticks and little springs and super glue, and it was really a weird little device that I came up with, but it actually worked, sort of, when I didn't push too hard and when it didn't break, right? but it actually did work. And so I took this thing that I had, and I looked at companies across the country, both Canada and the U.S., and I was living in Ottawa, the capital of Canada at the time. And I happened to find a company there. They've changed their name, but at the time they were called Gibson Product Design. So here's the synchronicities that happened. First of all, the name Gibson, right? Classic guitar name, right? And of course, they had no relationship to the company Gibson that makes guitars, but the founder happened to be called Gibson. And then the second synchronicity is that 3 of the 4 designers were guitarists. They all played guitar. And the third synchronicity was not only did they play guitar, they had guitars in their studio, right? So they would jam and just to relax in between their work. So when I found that company, I knew, okay, the stars had aligned. This is the company for me. I showed them my very crude prototype. They said, "Oh my God, well, okay, this is cool." And they actually took it from that very crude prototype to this, what I got now, which is a near production prototype. I've only got two of them, one for my acoustic guitar and one for my electric guitar.
On the website, you're talking about like it's easy. Is it because it's easy to wrap your head around? Is it easy to kind of work the fingers? Tell me like what is that bar that it's kind of lifting for the newbies to guitar playing?
Absolutely. Well, there's two main problems with learning a guitar. The first one is trying to put your fingers in the right places at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like finger gymnastics, right? That's the first problem is trying to learn exactly where your fingers go. It might be simple. You see a little tablature and say, okay, to do a G chord, oh, just put your finger here, here, and here. And then you try to do it. And it's like, oh, that sounds horrible when you strum it because you're off by a millimeter or so. And that's enough to make a horrible sound. So that's the first big bar, to actually learn the finger gymnastics and the right pressure and the exact position to make a proper sounding chord. That takes a long time to do. And the second big problem is the pain, because when you're holding down vibrating metal or even nylon strings, they hurt. They hurt a lot, and your fingers will get to that point where they're cut and quite sore and painful. So those are the two big hurdles that all starting guitarists come across, right? It's very difficult. So with the RockDreamer GuitarBar, these are padded buttons, so you can press down on it and it doesn't hurt your fingers. So that's one big obstacle. And the second one is these are all labeled. So on this device, to make a chord, you've got to push down one or two buttons, depending on the chord. So, for example, to make a G chord, I only have to push one button. This button here, that'll hold down the right strings at the right fret position on the guitar to make a G chord. Now, if I wanted to make a D chord, then I would hold these two buttons down. So I would push these down, and that would push down the right strings to make a D chord. It's not, let's say, as easy as maybe Guitar Hero, where you push a button and everything's done for you, right? We've already had that, product, and it's a great product. I mean, it was very, very successful. But this product brings you a little, different experience. It's actually on the real guitar. You are feeling the pressure. It doesn't hurt like putting your fingers on the actual strings directly, but you feel the pressure. You've got to push the buttons down fairly firmly, fairly hard to make a good connection, that the strings are held down properly and you're going to make a good chord. But it's closer to the experience of playing guitar, right? And you still have to strum. Mm-hmm. And so there's some learning to strumming properly, but the bar has been greatly diminished, right? Within 30 minutes, you could be up and playing some basic tunes, at least certain chords that sound half decent, right? And so that's the big thing that this product allows you to do.
I think a lot of people out there have had like maybe high school bands, so they have some understanding of music, right? Like this feels like this is a big boon for like I played the trombone. It was mostly like a by ear kind of playthrough for me, right? But this feels like kind of like something I could grab my head around.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. And I'm the first user, right? Because like I said, I do have some a musical background. I've been in bands. I've played accordion. I can read basic sheet music, but I never learned how to play the guitar. I was afraid of guitars, basically. I love the guitar. I love the sound of it. I love guitar music, and I've always wanted to be able to play but I haven't been able to play. When I did try many years ago, it just hurt my fingers too much. It was too difficult for me. And I got spoiled with, I got delicate fingers, I guess, because on the accordion and on the synthesizers, you've got plastic, and when you push those buttons down, it's pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've always wanted to play. And so now with this thing, it's amazing. I mean, I can experience being able to play my favorite songs, like Hotel California. I mean, now I'm an '80s guy, so the songs that my favorites are, they're they're a few years old, but they're classic. Free Falling, the Elvis tunes, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Taking Care of Business. Like, these are the songs that I can play now, with this device, and I can just have that enjoyment. There's that thrill of, holy crap, I never thought I'd be able to play this, and it sounds reasonably well. And so it's that experience that this allows you to have.
Excellent. So I understand you have a little bit of a demo set up for us to show us how it works. I love the idea that it's like, this is the thing for the guitar enthusiast, not for the hardcore guitar player, right? Like this like I just want to. I love your illustrations on here on the website. I think you illustrate this very well. Where you get to the bottom here and it says, "Entertain friends and family, create romantic moments." I love that stuff. Like, it is the next step of what we wanted out of Guitar Hero, right? Is to feel like the rock star, feel like we kind of know what we're doing with this kind of thing, right?
Exactly. It just makes it a little bit more real, right? Now, when I advertise on Facebook, I get a lot of hate from the guitarists. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, this is cheating," and this and that. And, I kind of, I try to sympathize with everybody's point of view. And I get what they're, saying. They're saying it's taken them years, and they put in a lot of effort, and they're selling my product just in, when they talk about it. Exactly. Years, it's taken you a lot of effort. You went through a lot of pain. You built up your calluses. So you basically just sold my product. No one is going to take this and say, I'm a guitarist, right? Or I know how to play guitar per se. I don't say I can play guitar. All I can say is I'm able to play guitar with this device, right? It's an experience. And we still would look up to people who play guitar, who know how to play guitar without this device.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a popular instrument. A lot of people want to be able to play. So why would you deny them that ability, right? They don't have maybe the passion that some guitarists have to go through the learning curve, right?
And could you imagine all those people that did have to spend all that much time, if they had the head start with this thing, to get through that first pain process that turned so many away. And so much of that time could have been on the latter part of their perfecting it.
Exactly, because what I've heard from other music teachers is there's this 2-month hump, right? That usually at the 2-month mark, when people are trying to learn guitar, they just give up, right? They haven't achieved the ability to play one of their favorite songs, right? So it's all pain, effort, and there's no payback, right? It takes too long to get payback. Something like this, they can get payback right away, like within minutes even. You can play, some basic songs, and then it's like, wow, there's that feeling of that thrill, right? That dopamine hit. It's like, wow, this sounds really good. And then, if you want to take it farther, and you could use this to make it easier on your left hand for making chords, and just focus on the strumming if you want, right? And you learn that technique, and you know how to strum. And then if you want, you could remove this and try practicing on your own if you wanted to learn more. But at least you have the payoff of hearing yourself play your favorite tunes. But I know a lot of people probably, will just be satisfied with using this, right? They're not going to be professional musicians with this, but just like all the people who bought Guitar Hero, why did they buy Guitar Hero? Because they wanted to feel that, it's a fantasy, it's something that a lot of people dream of, being a rock star or, being on the stage, to allow them to, get that experience.
Absolutely. And just out of curiosity, if you're like kind of into the idea, you're going to have this device, and like you can pick up a guitar for around $50 on Amazon. From a quick look. So like it's not like honestly I think I spent more on the Guitar Hero set so in the long run. So but no, that's very, very cool. I'm very excited with this. I might have to get my hands on one of these things and play around with it a bit. Keep an eye out for the Indiegogo. When we see it, we'll give a shout out to the awesome casters out there and let you know when it's going up.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Mike.
It sounded like there's a different version for electric versus acoustic, correct? So
actually, it's not a different version. It's the exact same device, right? The only thing is that it needs to be adjusted. And that's why I don't switch back and forth. Like I got two prototypes. One has been adjusted. You could almost say it's been tuned, right?
Okay.
The reason is that I'll show you. On the bottom, there's these feet that can be adjusted. You can screw them up or down.
Okay. Yeah, I can see.
And there's different positions. So you can move the foot. Each of the four feet can be in one of three different positions. And you see these little screw positions where they could go. And that's necessary because different guitars have different geometries, let's say, and sometimes when you put it on one guitar and you try to strum, it buzzes, right? That's the dreaded buzzing sound because the string is hitting one of the feet, right, when it's vibrating. So you got to find out, okay, is it hitting this foot? Oh, all right, so I got to move it a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. So you can unscrew the foot from its current position and just move it. And you have that level of flexibility. And also, you can screw the foot in or out, meaning does the device need to be closer to the fretboard or farther away? Because some guitars, the strings are closer to the fretboard, right? And if your feet are screwed to the point where the device is too high, when you push down on the button, the prodders, they're a little bit too far away, so they push down on the string, but not all the way to the bottom, right? So in that case, you'd extend the feet. No, sorry, you would screw them in, right? So that you're closer, the whole device is closer, so that when you push the button, it's got more extension to really push down those strings down to the bottom of the fretboard, right? But it is the same device that works on both electric and acoustic. It's just that you need to tune it for a particular guitar. Yeah.
And I know there's been a lot of famous blind or visually impaired guitarists, but have you thought of making a Braille version?
A Braille? Oh my goodness, no, I have not. Like that. But you know what? That wouldn't be so hard, actually, now that I think about it, because all it would mean is that, you see, one of the innovations of this product over other guitar assist devices, because there are other ones, like the leading one is called Chord Buddy, and that was on Shark Tank, but it's got only 4 buttons, and it can only do 4 chords. My device can do 11 chords, right? But one of the other innovations on this product is, I don't know if you can see it too well, but they're labeled. The buttons are actually labeled with the chords that it can support. Mm-hmm. You'd think that's a pretty basic thing, but none of the existing guitar assist devices have their buttons labeled in this way. So your idea, John, making a Braille version would simply mean to put the little Braille dots, if you will, on the top of the button to indicate which chord. So yeah, that's actually a brilliant idea. I had not thought of that, but yeah, let's get successful with this version, and then we'll think of another one. Like the other request I get is a lefty version, right? So this is meant for right-handers. So they strum with their right hand and they'll push the buttons with the left hand. So the opposite of that, we'd have to just, it'd be like a mirror image of these buttons on the device. So that's another requested one. And the other one is, does it work on bass guitar? So no, it doesn't. But again, future product idea.
That's the expanded line, right? Expanded line. Yeah, and you mentioned the how they're labeled, and I'm looking at the pictures and how you're holding that, and like I even pulled up some quick sheet music, and you see the chords across the top as just that, and understanding the the half and quarter notes and everything to make it sound right.
Well, I was just gonna say you have the sheet music up there, Michael, but that's kind of scary sheet music, right?
Yes.
You got all the notes and stuff like that. You don't need that much. You just need the lyrics, and you need the chord letter over the word where you change chords, right? I found the best website on the internet is ultimateguitar.com, right? I'm not affiliated with that site at all, but I love them because years ago, I'll just tell you a quick story. Years ago, there was tons of places that were publishing sheet music, right, for free on the internet. And eventually, they were basically distributing copyrighted material. And eventually the big music companies, they shut them all down. They said, look, unless you pay us big bucks, we're going to just shut you down. And most of them did shut down. But Ultimate Guitar, I think they're based out of Russia. But what they did was they negotiated. They were the biggest, and they said, no, look, this is a new medium and this kind of thing. You can't charge us the same kind of prices that you would, traditional stuff. So they actually went to the trouble of negotiating a deal with the big music publishers. And so they're totally legit. They were allowed to keep publishing. And the way it works is that anybody can post their version of a song. Here are the chords that I use, and here's my arrangement. And again, all you need is just the lyrics and the chords, the letters of the chords. So it's simpler to consume. You don't have to worry about all the notes and the tablature and all that stuff. So it makes it easier for a beginner.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Michael.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network.